It's the first Caribbean 600 for Scorpions and even for myself and some crew members. So super proud of all the team that have made this possible. It's been a super interesting race, luckily with a very good result. The beauty of the islands is something unbelievable this race. We hope to be here next year.
There was a pretty close cross coming back out on port tack with Scorpius. They crushed us every time we tacked, they tacked on us. So it was a full match race move to the first point, but they did a great job and defended from there on. So it was a good job from Scorpius. The game's never over, in this sort of race, particularly when it's it's not a point-to-point or a long offshore without all these obstacles. There's plenty of opportunities right till the end. I'm sure this is just the beginning of a rivalry. We know the team, the sailors on the boat very well. It's great, good, healthy, competition, and we're looking forward to the next battle.
The bit that I haven't looked at is I haven't looked at the weather much after we finish. So I haven't looked at that. But I would have thought that Warrior 1 was having a very good race with Christopher Sheehan and a very good team on board. Sunrise, of course, was doing well. I think the 52s probably do a little better than Sunrise in that. And I noticed Teasing Machine was up there. So I think it's probably going to be the 52, but you never know. It'd be nice to win Super Zero on the handicap. That would be a good achievement.
This is the Sailing World on Water, March 4th, 2022. Here are our highlights in the sport of sailing in the past 7 days. Continuing the RORC Caribbean 600 finish theme with the Multis.
I mean, this race is always an emotional roller coaster. I think we traded leads with the other boats 5 or 6 times. It would be hard to recount them.
They arrived to beat us just in the last 15 minutes.
It was a boat-on-boat kind of tacking duel between 2 Mod 70s out here in the Sound, and it was awesome.
It was a fantastic race. We know that we are very close and the level is very high, so great experience. Learn many things.
Just watching the other boat sail next to you helps you understand what your boat looks like, which you don't get to see from off the boat very often. They're pretty amazing machines.
A few years ago we were here, we nearly won it after capsizing, and that was a massive effort. And then the next time we came, we just lost out as well. So it's really good. Third time is a charm.
This race I like very much. We do it already many times. So. And especially if there is Argo and power play, I will be back for sure.
Challenger of record for the next America's Cup, Ben Ainslie, gives his state of play.
It was an important progression for us to take the step to become Challenger of record for Team New Zealand, and it was part of also the journey for Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS. This was their first experience in the Cup, understanding that by being Challenger of record you then have that ability to work with the defender to set the framework of the rules, if you like, the protocol of the event. In doing so, create a competition that I think, as a backer of a team and someone who shares that love now with the America's Cup, that opportunity to develop it more so for the long term. We had a pretty strong relationship with Mercedes through the last campaign, so it was kind of a natural progression in many ways to build on that into AC37, but we've certainly formalised it more, and the resource that we're drawing on is much greater than what it was in the last campaign, and you now see some of the key Mercedes technical personnel in key roles in INEOS Britannia. So it's a much more intense, focused partnership than it was last time around, but it feels like a natural fit. There's been a good response to the entries for this AC37. Of course, we always want more teams. It would be great to see at least 6 teams. There's a good chance of that. Red Bull coming in on board with Ingrid having won the Cup twice, and that Mercedes-Red Bull fight that's now transformed itself from not only Formula One into America's Cup. I think it's going to be a strong story for everybody to follow. A strong turnout already, and we hope to see more. It's been a really busy period for the team. Things didn't really stop on the back of AC36 in New Zealand, with negotiating the protocol with the Kiwis and then developing the team on the back of that Cup and the partnership with Mercedes Formula One. So huge effort from everyone involved. I think we've achieved a lot. Clearly we've still got a long way to go.
There is only one overall winner, and it's Warrior.
I feel so much joy right now, and a huge amount of humility, and I'm humbled to count myself among the winners who have been trying to win this race for as many years as she's been in existence, and kudos to all those competitors. I count myself to be very lucky among those who have won it.
I would say the 600 rates as one of the hardest in the world. It's like, I equate this to a 10-round heavyweight boxing match. And the lefts and the rights and just keep coming at you, and you're just doing, and you're playing offense and you're playing defense, and you're waiting for the knockout punch to hit you, because at any moment you could park up for hours and lose your lead. No lead safe until the very end.
We've instituted essentially a 2.5-year testing program so that we know at every given angle, at every given wind strength, we know what our best sail combinations are. And we were testing all the angles that we knew were going to be key for this race. And then it's just all about execution. Part of the secret to the success is the team that we have. So having Stu Bannatyne and Richard Clark, and I can go every name right on down the boat, that is the reason for our success. And that's because these guys are at the elite end of the sport. And for me, I'm just lucky to be able to tag along with a group like this. They're just magnificent sailors.
To win a race like this, you have to have a perfectly prepared boat, a great team, the right sails, the right program. Everything just goes into it to just give it that absolute level, that you have to have in order to perform.
It's rather odd, but it's my mantra on how I run the Warrior One program, and it is humility and positive ego. There's such thing as negative ego. That's when everyone's bad side comes out and there's finger pointing or blame or hierarchy where I don't do that, that's your job. These fellas bring positive ego, which is extreme confidence in what they're doing, but also the humility to take feedback, to ask questions, to tap out when they're exhausted, or to have a belief that they don't have the answers to everything. And that brings this work ethic and this chemistry that makes the boat go faster, and it's very important.
Well, to win a race like this is is literally a dream come true. And I think one of the aspects of this race is the sleep deprivation. So I still might be dreaming because I haven't caught up on my sleep yet. But it's just fantastic. I mean, such a fantastic race. And this program, Christian, we put so much into it, and to realize our potential and to realize a great victory like this, you know, holy cow, it's really a dream come true.
The annual SOLAS by Boats Challenge was back on again in 2021, and SHK Scallywag showed her abilities. A great race around Sydney Harbour. The Volvo 70 class was competitive.
The best for this race is that you are going around the beautiful islands. It's a beautiful sky, beautiful sea. Everything is beautiful, but it was really hard and a lot of changes, a lot of wind holes. So frustrating, but perfect. There's a few Volvos, few 65, few Volvo 70s. I think it's perfect competition. I mean, we are lucky that we joined this race. We are lucky that we actually won with the Volvo 70s. So perfect feeling. Thank you.
I've never put together a team at the last minute before and had it work out so well. Fabulous. I mean, really, all great guys, great sailors, obviously. And a great group of people to be doing this race with, for sure. They all got your back. We've experienced, I think, every kind of condition possible in a 600-mile continuous loop. It's been fine. The weather's beautiful. Great company with the boys here and in good hands. Some wonderful sea life, whales, birds. It's just, there's been a lot to look at. And it's been a lovely event.
Pip Hare has been busy with her new boat.
I'm Joff Brown, Technical Director at Pip Hare Racing. So the last 3 months have been pretty busy. We're just coming towards the end of the refit last 2 weeks. It's been very hectic. Christmas is in the way, COVID's been in the way, so we're a bit up against it, but it should be all good at the end. So on the electronic side, we've sort of really tackled the DC side, so we've got new batteries and new wiring on all of that side. We have moved the batteries. They weren't in an ideal location. They're sort of where Pip comes straight through the main hatch, so normally soaking wet. We've got new B&G displays going in. We've got Nemesis here, which is their new type of display. We've got a Zeus up there for the radar, and then another Nemesis and a Zeus in the cockpit as well. Yeah, so as you can see, we're waiting for our new engine to arrive. Refer back to the supply chain issues. The old engine was the original engine, so pretty old, been around the world twice. Various bits falling off it. So we've gone for exactly the same engine and a new alternator system, which I think we'll probably develop more in the next year or so. So on deck, we haven't done too much. There's a lot of servicing and replacing parts, so winches, a lot of the blocks, cars, so ball bearings, that kind of thing that just really get abused on these boats. The winches on these boats are really at the end of their limit. Normally you wouldn't think about having to change big parts of winches, but this boat you kind of have to. A couple of composite repairs we've done here where there's just bits sort of pulling off the boat. But generally, deck-wise, we're in pretty good shape. The boat's really well thought out, it is new, so we haven't had to do too much. So we have done quite a lot of paint. We did the deck, obviously, and the whole wrap when we were in St Malo when we first got the boat. We didn't have time to do the bottom then, so we've just reworked that. The guys have done a really nice job of that, so we're up to, I think, like P600 finish. So it's anti-foul, but it's got a gloss to it, so it's really slippery, hopefully. And again, yeah, we painted the rudders have got a new Axo Noble product on them, and the keel we've re-anti-fouled, and again, just looking for extra good finish, and which leads to extra good performance. This is the keel that's just been anti-fouled. We've gone fluoro yellow this year, orange last year, but hopefully it goes a bit better with indigo. It just sort of shows you the scale of operations really, because it's easy to think, oh, just anti-fouling the keel, but actually it requires like a 6 metre tall 2 levels of scaffolding for the sprayer to be able to reach all the way around. You know, the boats are complicated, every element of them, you know, we're relatively simple tasks are actually quite big jobs. So as part of the rule, all the boats have to have a fluoro colour on the keel, the rudders, and 2 square metres under the hull. This is in case the boat capsizes, as has happened a few times in the Vendée Globe. Just aids, obviously, search and rescue, finding the boat. So the keel's just under 4 tonnes, which is basically half the weight of the boat. All the other elements of the boat basically weigh the same as this. So boat's just under 8 tonnes overall, keel's half of it, crazy. So the forged fin is a one design piece, the bulb. You can have whatever bulb you want, but the actual keel and the hydraulic system that controls it are all part of the IMOCA one design package. So the latest bit of drama is we've discovered we've got some delamination in the mast, which is a small area, but it's really deep. I think the mast on the back, on the aft section is 11-12 mil thick, and we've got delamination at 8 mil, which means they're going to have to grind out all along here to get rid of the delaminated layers and then build it all back up again, which is a slow process. It's probably about 10 days work. This is an issue that's affecting all the masts of this age and probably in due course would affect all the other masts. So I think there's probably something like 30 masts built now out of the one design mould, so it's probably a problem across the board, but obviously the older boats are going to experience it first. So we were alerted by our fellow French competitors, which was good of them, and then we had it ultrasounded last week. Good to catch these things obviously before we step it and ultimately lose the mast probably. It's all good, we'll sort it out hopefully in time. So yeah, so we started this refit, we had 2 new recruits pretty much at the start of the refit. Everyone's got on really well. I've got a couple of very experienced subcontractors we use and a couple of more experienced members in the crew with the 2 ollies. But no, really happy with the new guys, and yeah, all good on the team front. So the most difficult bit of this refit I think has probably been supply chain issues, which I know are affecting the whole world and most industries. Anything in-house we've really been able to solve and sort it pretty easily. So when we come out of the shed, the rudder's on, keel on. We're going to hold over the weekend and then go in the water on the Monday morning. If the rig's ready, we'll step that on the Tuesday. Then we're basically rig tuning. We've got sails arriving on the 7th, so they'll go on. We've got a few days between launch and then to sort out engine, water makers, get anything working in the system side. And then yes, test the new sails locally with the sail makers. And then we're under pressure really to get down to Cascais. So I'm kind of hoping that the boat comes together nicely for us and we don't have too many problems.
Meet Inga.
I'm Ingrid Salisbury. I'm lead modelling and software engineer at INEOS Britannia.
An integral team member of INEOS Britannia.
I think the interesting part of it is the high performance engineering. I think whether it's an F1 car or a boat, that part is what fascinates me. different groups, aerodynamic groups, hydrodynamic groups, build models and look in detail at that part of the boat. Our role in the modelling is to bring together models of all these different things to build a complete simulation of the boat. The challenge is getting the information from different groups, putting it all together, making a model that is high fidelity enough to capture all the physical characteristics such that we can make design and performance decisions from that. And I think one of our big challenges is we can follow the theory and build this theoretically great model, but it might not be correlated with what we see in reality, and that is the big challenge, is capturing the reality. I think for us, the key moment will be getting the boat on the water and getting that real-world data and seeing how well we've been able to predict the behaviour and the performance of the boat. We're building a lot on last campaign's boat, looking at the data from that, but with new designs, new foil designs, new sail designs, it is still quite unknown. What I love about my job is getting to work with very competitive, very passionate, very motivated people, because those kind of people, they push really hard, which makes me push really hard. And because they are so passionate about what they do, it inevitably makes it more emotive, and personalities clash, people debate things, and it's through that that you achieve much better things than you would just sort of going with the flow. And I think that it's quite an emotional atmosphere, but a very motivated one, and that's the best part for me.